If you're ready to buy or sell your home, then stop in at 4234 Market Street to let one of the agents at Howard Hanna Professionals help. Our friendly and knowledgeable agents can help you find the key to your dream home. Looking for a new career? Howard Hanna Professionals can help there too. Howard Hanna Professionals will assist new and experienced agents with the startup fees for an exciting career in real estate. Call Katrina Laurie at 814-726-2000 for more information.
Here at Casella, we make temporary dumpster rental easy, offering services that are perfect for construction, remodeling, special events, or other short-term projects. Casella dumpsters are available in a wide range of sizes to fit any job. Our dedicated customer service team will help you choose the right size container and service level for your project and schedule hassle-free removal based on your specific needs. The right size dumpster, when you want it, where you want it, removed when you say so.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation here on your Daily Local. Brian Hagberg with you. Joined this week by our special guest, Cindy Cornelius, Director of Nursing at Venango Technology Center. And Cindy, let's get right into it. Venango Technology Center here at the Warren Forest High Ed Council, which is, again, being generous enough to lend us some classroom space for our show. But what exactly is VTC doing here at Warren Forest High Ed?
We've been here since 2009, and we initiated a practical nursing program here so the Warren community has access to a short, you can have a career in a year nursing program.
Career in a year sounds pretty good. And I don't think it's been overstated that nursing, especially since COVID hit, really has seen a shortage. And how kind of bad is it, or what are some of the numbers there with the shortage, and how do we address that?
I think nursing programs in general are tasked with admitting as many students as our programs can hold. There are nursing shortages in our local agencies. They're hiring traveling nurses, and often it provides a little bit more of an inconsistency in care than the familiar faces you see every day. So
Right.
It's really nice to be able to hire consistent faces, consistent nurses who know the routines at the different agencies and can help out our patients, our loved ones, our family members that are being taken care of in these agencies.
And so my mom's a nurse, so obviously I get a little bit about this program. I mean, that was 30 years ago, but so obviously there are different degrees of nursing, right? You've got RNs and LPNs and CNAs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, so explain a little bit about what those differences are and how they're different. And then does your program offer paths to all of those certifications, or how does that happen?
Okay, one of the beautiful things about going into nursing is it's a career ladder. You can start at CNA, which is probably the lowest rung on that ladder. You can move up to LPN, which is what we offer. It is the bedside nurse, the hands-on nurse, the one who cares for the patients. Then you can go to an RN, and there's two different levels of RN. There's an associate's degree and bachelor's degree that you'll see managing the care in a hospital or in a nursing home. And you can go further. You can go to master's degree or a DNP. Those are other options for it. And it's just really nice to be able to have that career mobility that nursing provides.
So you mentioned you offer an LPN, and how long a program is that if somebody signs up with VTC?
It's 1 year.
Okay,
so you can be in and out
Right.
pretty quickly with a career that you can be proud of and that will earn a nice wage for you.
And so primarily, you mentioned like some traveling nurses and stuff, but I mean, are there primary fields where LPNs are most needed or seem to be hired the most that you see from your program graduates?
I will say long-term care is one of the main areas that our students seem to migrate to. Additionally, there are private clinics, there's doctor's offices, hospitals. I've seen some people even go into utilization review or working in respiratory therapy. It's really a wide open field where you can go with what interests you.
Yeah. So no limitation, basically. I mean, you get your degree, and then you got to pass a state test also.
We do.
But once you get through the entire process, it's really wherever there's a need. And I mean, based on what I'm seeing all over the place, there's pretty much a need everywhere.
It is. I think the graduates of our nursing program could probably have 2 or 3 jobs if they really wanted to have them.
And talk a little bit about that, the state certification process, right? Because it's not just like you graduate and you're automatically ready to go. There is a
Right.
state test that you then have to take
Yeah.
separately.
The State Board of Nursing wants to make sure that people are going to be safe, effective practitioners out there. So they mandate that all nursing programs have their graduates take a licensing exam. We often call it the NCLEX exam. And to make sure that they have the needed knowledge to carefully care for patients. We don't want people out there who can't safely care for our loved ones. So once they do take this examination that we call the NCLEX, they are considered a licensed practical nurse as opposed to a graduate practical nurse. And in the RN realm, it is a registered nurse as opposed to a graduate nurse.
And so what are you seeing from your graduates when they go on to take this exam? What's the success rate for those folks?
We had a terrific year last year. All students at both of our campuses, both Oil City and Warren, passed the state licensing examination. So we were very, very proud. But we've been in the high 90s every year.
It's 100%.
Yes.
You're not leaving yourself a lot of room to grow.
I know, I know.
But what do you think that says about your program in particular, that your graduates are seeing such a high success rate?
I would really attribute it to my faculty. My faculty are amazing here. We have Mrs. Leslie Davis, Mrs. Heidi Steger up here at the Warren campus. The Warren students also have the ability to go to our state-of-the-art simulation lab down in Oil City, and Dr. Julie Carty runs that. And we have Kelly Weaver and Mrs. Alyssa Sigworth, who also teach students down there.
And so somebody who wants to get started or is maybe thinking about, hey, I'm looking for a career change or just graduated, I think want to give nursing a shot. How do they get started with you?
So their first step would be to go online to our website. It's www.vtc1.org. And there is a place where you can complete an online application, and you just select which campus you want to attend, whether it be the Warren campus or the Oil City campus. And my administrative assistants, Mrs. Can or Mrs. France, if you're down in Oil City, they would reach out to you and get you set up for an entrance exam. One of the other things is if you have already attended college and you have 30 credits and at least a 2.2 GPA, you don't have to take the pre-entrance examination. You can go straight to the next step, which is an interview with me, which I promise isn't too difficult.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like the conversation we're having right now, it'd be a breeze. But so anybody who's already accumulated 30 or more credits with a 2.2 GPA, they waive the entrance exam.
They just need to provide a transcript copy for us so we can verify that.
And do you see that you get more of those kind of students who have done some coursework and then maybe change course or career trajectories? Or are you seeing more kids, right out of high school or right out of the workforce? What do you see more from your students?
We have a little bit of a variety in our program. We have the very young ones that are straight out of high school, but we also have people who are coming back for a career change or who have seen nursing as a stable career or rewarding career, one that's really well respected in the community. So we do have those people coming back too. So it's kind of a nice variety. Right. I don't think I answered your question. I can't remember what it was.
Yes, okay. No, that was. I mean, obviously we don't need. We had 3 that were straight out of high school, but and like I said, I mentioned 30 some odd years ago, my mom was one of those. She was working in the pharmacy at Warren General and decided she wanted to go and she actually went to become an RN.
Yeah.
But part of that process, that was a 3-year degree. She went up to JCC, and as part of that process, the cost and all that, decided that for us to be able to still live, we moved back in with my grandparents. Thankfully, they were around, but so obviously, one of the big factors is somebody looking at this like, yeah, it's only a year, but what kind of out-of-pocket expense are they looking at, and is there financial aid available? Yeah,
so we recently, about 3 years ago, modified our schedule so that people can work a little more effectively when they're in our program. In August, you join us Tuesdays through Fridays. And then from September to December, you're physically with us 3 days a week. But in addition to that, you have 1 day of out of classroom work that you complete. And then come January to June, you're back with us 4 days a week because that's our tougher content,
Right,
the
yeah.
med surge. So that's a nice thing. A lot of people do the Baylor program where they work maybe Saturday and Sunday and get paid full-time hours, but they're with us the remainder of the time, so it's not so difficult. What you also were talking about is financial aid. We definitely have financial aid. You can complete the FAFSA form and it will give us an SAI number. And based on that number, we're able to determine how much you can get in the free federal government money called the Pell Grants.
Okay.
Additionally, you can get subsidized loan and unsubsidized loan. More recently, because our program is shorter and also it's a high priority occupation, meaning we need more people into it. There's another state grant for people who live in Pennsylvania that they can get up to $6,000 with the PA TIP grant.
Okay.
So a lot of students can pretty well cover the cost of the program altogether. With tuition and fees, it probably runs around $19,000.
And that gets you all the classwork and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but with the probably about 11,000 that the student could get in Pell and the 6,000 that they could get with PA TIP, many students can more than cover that, and sometimes just take out a little extra loan money in order to help meet cost of living or cut back on work hours further. In the program.
Because you got, obviously you got to pay the bills, right?
Right.
And that's not something necessarily, say for example, you get 14,000 in grants and loans, and okay, so I got five left. That's not something that they would necessarily have to upfront the whole thing. Like, do you have payment plans, or how
we can do payment plans? And the other thing I do is encourage them to apply to local scholarships. There's a bunch of areas that we give a list out to. Community Foundation of Warren County being one of the main ones. They are terrific in working with our students. Also, the high ed has scholarships here. They are terrific with helping our students. If they find they're in a real financial bind, they'll do what they can to help them search out some scholarships and find some additional money. So they're a terrific partner to us.
Yeah. And it's amazing, how as a student here, right, you're doing FAFSA and you think about, I applied for, I don't know, 3 or 4 scholarships, whatever it was, a long time ago now. But it really is amazing now that I'm on hey, we're this foundation. We gave this kid a scholarship. We gave this and we gave this. And just seeing just how many different scholarships are available and how many of them, like specifically for nursing or healthcare or whatever, that really are available to the students here. And I think that speaks to the community recognizing, hey, we got a big need. We got to get these kids in these classes and get them going.
It is really nice to have the community support for this because, the community needs nurses. And I'm glad healthcare has been one of the burdens they've helped us carry, trying to get our students through. We have a lot of students who come from lower economic situations. So it's really nice to have that extra money to help them so they're not so financially stressed when they come through school.
Well, and coming from, and again, we were one of them.
Yeah, you had a working mother.
Yeah, and really seeing the difference in economic standing, going from being, I think it was, gosh, again, this was farther long ago than I care to enunciate, but, being a pharmacy tech and then actually becoming a nurse, just the difference in our standard of living from, her having that degree and getting into nursing was tremendous. It's you're filling a need societally, but then also it seems like this is a career field where you can reach a lot of your own personal economic goals as well.
Right. You're 100% right. And my dad was a strong proponent of me becoming a nurse. Yeah. And I will give you the advice that he gave me long ago is become a nurse. You will love it because it's rewarding. You like to help people. But in addition, it's one of those jobs you can go anywhere. If you marry someone and they get moved, you can move with them and you're not starting at the low end of the pay scale any longer. You're still right up there. And in addition, you have the ability to be self-supporting as well. We do have single moms that come through here, and it's an income that they and their family can easily live in.
And so you mentioned people moving. I know with state licensure and things like that. Is there any kind of reciprocity with Pennsylvania and other states where if you move, the fact that you're licensed in Pennsylvania carries over to that state?
That's a really good question. Yes, that's definitely on the legislative agenda for the Pennsylvania State Board of Nursing. They're working through some different areas that they're having snags with the clearances, the FBI clearances and such. But we're hoping to join the compact, so we're with other states that we do have that reciprocity. Anybody from other states can come in and work here as a nurse, but us going there has not come to fruition yet.
So for example, if somebody got licensed here in Pennsylvania and say they moved to Jamestown and wanted to be a nurse up there, they would.
That happens often.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a paper application.
Yeah.
They send it to me to sign so I can verify that they had their education needs met, and then they can work up there once the new upstate Board of Nursing approves it.
Okay, so but it's not like they need to take the New York State certification exam, right?
Thank heavens,
yeah.
no.
All right. that was kind of what I was driving at. Like, you gotta go take another test, and
that would be stressful.
Yeah. Now, is there an additional fee to take the state licensure exam?
Do you mean once you finish the program?
Yeah.
We charge the students for that fee up front so that their financial aid covers it. So it is a $200 licensing fee for the examination itself, and it's $95 for the State Board of Nursing's application.
But that's included in that $19,000.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and that's, I mean, again, that's one of those.
We found that people didn't have the money at the end of the program, so we're trying to help them out.
Took a year off work. I can't imagine why. But and you see that in a lot of areas now, a lot of fields that are requiring state exams or licensure, things like that. And the commercial at the top of our program right now, our friends over at Howard Hanna are offering to compensate and cover those costs, because they're finding that that's been a barrier to people entering the field. And do you think some of those costs have contributed to the shortage that we're seeing in nursing right now? Is it's like you mentioned, a lot of lower economic standing wanting to get into the field, but how do I pay for it?
I think you're 100% right. I think a lot of times they don't realize there is financial assistance out there for them, and they think that maybe they have to come up with this funding from their pocket, but that's not the case at all. I'm the person who does financial aid as well, so I help everybody try to tailor their financial needs to their own specific situation. Yeah.
And so, obviously Venango is in the name here, the V part of the VTC. So how did you guys get connected up here in Warren County and with the High Ed Council?
The High Ed Council found that there was a shortage, and they wanted the LPNs to move to this county. So they supported our move up here, and so we expanded a satellite program up here, and we've been in operation up here since 2009.
And how many in that time, approximately, how many students have you had come through the program?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I would say at least 300.
Oh, wow. That's so you guys are really putting a dent in that shortage, at least locally.
We're doing what we can, for sure.
And so you mentioned you also have your home campus, I guess would be the best way to describe that, is in Oil City.
It's in Oil City.
And so same process though, if somebody, say they're watching from Oil City right now, just reach out to you guys through your website and get connected down there.
Right. So it's the same exact process. You go to the www.vtc1.org website and click on the online application, and you can go ahead and just reach out to us. You can also call us too if you're not somebody who's interested in the online approach. You can give us a call. Our phone number up here in Warren is 814-406-0075, and down in Oil City it's 814-493-6590.
And so obviously you've been here since 2009, but how long have you guys been VTC and offering these programs?
1968.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
I've been with the program since 1997.
Okay.
So
it was a good year, 97.
Yeah.
Sorry. I told my wife, we went and we took the kids to the new Inside Out movie, and they have one of the emotions is nostalgia keeps trying to creep in, and they're like, no, we're not old enough yet. We're not old enough yet. And we're walking out, and I said, does it make you kind of sad that we're old enough for nostalgia now?
It's so true.
And so what, when students leave the program, do you get feedback from them, maybe a year down the line as far as, hey, where did you go? And what was the hiring process like, that you're able to share then with with incoming students of, hey, we know, so and so is at this hospital or this location or doing, hooked up with this traveling agency, and we know there's a need there.
Right, we do track it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, we start with the job fair. While they're still in the program, we help them create a resume, a cover letter, and we have a job fair where area employers come in and talk with them and try and recruit them right off the bat. After they graduate, we do put stuff up on our VTC Practical Nursing Facebook page. And if people can follow that if they're interested in what kind of classroom activities we do post a lot up there. Again, it's VTC Practical Nursing. But we post job openings up there. Anything that the employers share with us, we let them know. And like you said, we do track it. So we track where everybody goes and, wages when they start out and a lot of information like that so that we can help guide future students.
Do you find that there are certain, hospitals or offices or locations that when students leave that they kind of gravitate towards? Do they stay more local, or do you find that they're kind of, expanding throughout the region?
It tickles me that they always seem to want to go to the places where we had clinical. I think they had a comfort zone there, and the staff were always really nice. So currently we've had clinical at the Rouse Manor, we've had clinical at Warren Manor, Golden Living Kinzu. Okay. We've been using Kane Lutheran Home as well as Sinakeen. So we do find those are a lot of the places they go to. Also, Kane Hospital has been very kind to us, and some of our students had that direction, as well as UPMC down in Oil City.
Okay. And so when you mentioned the clinical, being at some of those locations, what are some of the things that the students do while they're there that maybe help prepare them to enter the workforce?
They truly function in the role of a nurse. So whenever in phase 1, they're learning the basic skills, how to care for patients, how to take blood pressure, listen to heart rates, take temperatures, move patients, bathe patients, all that kind of stuff. And then we just keep stepping it up as you go along. Then you learn your medications, how to do the different procedures on patients, the head to toe assessment. And so you may be working with the instructor's guidance pretty strongly in phase 1, and then it's maybe with minimal guidance, and then pretty much independently towards the end, where you step out there and ready to be the nurse on your own.
And so how do you determine where a clinical is going to be for each class?
Sometimes it's based on location, but we do try and rotate the students to each site. Whenever you're with a different instructor, each instructor stresses different things. We all have our strengths. Maybe, I loved cardiology. So, you would be looking at rhythm strips with me and learning about heart attacks and what we do for that. Whereas somebody else maybe had a urinary office in their background, and they might have been very interested in that and teach you special things about that. So I think it's really beneficial. In addition, it's nice to see how the routines differ from place to place and see what you like and see who the people are and see if it's a fit for you.
Excuse me. And again, you'd mentioned kind of off the top seeing a surge a little bit in the traveling nurses. And what are you seeing from the education standpoint as far as how that aspect of the career field has kind of taken off? I would assume a lot of that really exploded during the pandemic when people had to stay in.
They did. Travel nursing has really expanded, and I think partly because the pay is so high. It pulls people in that wouldn't typically go for traveling, and it allows some people to truly travel. Some people want to go to different parts of the country and see it, and they provide lodging and a place to work that is different from any places around here. So it's nice that way. The main change with education that I see is it used to be years. They wanted at least 2 years experience before they go into travel nursing. But travel nursing has adapted. Now they have a pretty strong orientation program for new nurses to make them feel a little more prepared to be in a bunch of different environments.
Yeah, because it's not like you're in your kind of,
it's not routine.
You're this is my home base, and I know where the syringes and the gauze and all that stuff is. It's
100%.
You got to kind of take it with you as you go, but
you'd have to be pretty adaptable.
And so if somebody watching this is thinking, man, hey, I've been thinking about this, been on the fence, I want to go for it. When would be the deadline that they need to apply for the next program?
I would say within the next 2 weeks. We start July 30th.
Okay.
So you would certainly need to be able to come to an orientation with me. So probably within 2 weeks, they would need to apply.
And that's
And we
generally
do
true.
actually have about 5 spots left.
Okay.
So if
All
people are interested.
Final 5, you got 2 weeks, final 5. But I mean, that's generally the starting point for you then?
We
most
usually
years,
start
end of
about
July.
then.
Okay. So, obviously if somebody sees this after that, since it's on the internet, not forever. But again, just start that process, either give you a call on the website and then you guys kind of take it from there.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else about the program that would be important for people to know as they start kind of looking around and seeing if this is something they want to do?
Absolutely. One thing that I would suggest you look at as you're assessing nursing programs is their NCLEX pass rate. We talked about that. So that's 100%. In addition, we are also accredited by ASIN. ASIN is the gold standard for nursing programs. So it's really nice to graduate from an ASIN program simply because it opens avenues for you down the road if you want to continue on. It shows we're a quality program. We're constantly looking at our methods, our teaching techniques, and we're doing the best we can to improve regularly. So as you can see, it's kind of helped us along the way with 100% NCLEX pass rate. But I feel like that's a beneficial thing, and it allows articulations into other nursing programs as well.
And so when we talk about the start date, that's for both campuses, correct?
Yes, we run a compatible schedule between both campuses.
And then, so obviously somebody who's up here, they're going to come here to the high ed office on the grounds of State Hospital, and they're in class coursework. Obviously,
their in class coursework is here on campus. Yep.
Okay. And
Oil City is at a new location, actually.
There you go. Yeah,
we're at Montgomery Hall on Venango campus. The Oil Region Alliance is our leasing agent, so we've leased from them now, and we do have a new place.
Okay. And what's the address there for folks in Oil City?
It's 1801 West First Street in Oil City. So we moved across the river.
Take a little George Washington trip across the river.
I suppose you could.
You got to get the big painting though, right? With you leading the charge.
Absolutely.
So what kind of prompted the move down there?
It allows us to expand, and there's a state-of-the-art simulation lab there. We have these mannequins that can breathe and talk and give birth, and there's a pediatric mannequin that his eyes blink, and you can make it have blueness around the lips. So there are so many things you can learn, and we all learn best from making mistakes.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let you hurt anybody at the clinical site, but in SimLab, you can make a mistake
you can
and you
kill
can
the
learn
mannequin all you want.
Yeah.
Just make sure Skynet doesn't become self-aware with these mannequins.
Oh my.
But no, I mean that sounds again the increases or advancements, I guess is the word I'm looking for, in technology and the way you can apply it to the medical field. And like you said, you can, I remember when I initially started going to school, I was going for athletic training, and we had to, part of it was you had to take an EMT course, and we would go through these simulations where, you'd have a classmate just sitting in a chair and go, and, and somebody whisper, okay, you have this, right. And then you have to try to guess all their symptoms and, oh, you get to the end. Oh, sorry, they're dead now because you did X, Y, Z. But with these, it seems like something that you could see that in real time as you're going through that process.
So true. They have monitors just like you would see in the emergency room when you go in. The patients can change. She can fluctuate their vital signs. She can make their breathing different. When your mom and I went to school long ago, it was just a matter of you would turn on a device, you wouldn't hear it. It would just be turning on, and you'd be listening to sounds and say, okay, that's a systolic murmur. Oh, that's a diastolic murmur. Oh, that person has wheezes. Now it's amazing. You can make all the things happen that it's a true person that you can almost get lost in the real life experience.
Right. Wow. Yeah. That just sounds, I'm sitting here going, I want to just get in this
Do you want to
program.
be a nurse? I've got a spot for you.
My bedside manner is probably not great for nursing. But I mean, it sounds like something you want to just kind of go down and play with a little bit just to see.
It's very neat. Dr. Cartney she just makes them come alive.
Yeah. So now, is it something that she kind of controls remotely, or is there like a software program in there that says that you enter? Okay, this person has, for example, they're going to go into VFib or something like that.
A mixture of both.
Oh, okay.
So she has prefabricated scenarios that she has developed, and she can set the machine to do certain things, and also she can control the machine and make pulse rates go up or down, or make the patient say something.
The talks.
Oh, they talk.
Oh, wow. We might have to do one of these on remote and come check this stuff out. But I mean, and again, how much does having access to this equipment, improve the quality of the education that these students are getting?
I think classroom learning is really great, but the hands-on learning is what really makes a clinically strong nurse.
Yeah.
So I think it's instrumental to have these type of learning experiences for our students.
Well, and I would think too, just you can be textbook and, I know what all my steps are, right? But when there's a person in front of you and you're going through your steps, and even if you're doing everything right, stuff happens.
Oh, you have to apply that knowledge for sure.
And you have to be able to adapt and do it in, high pressure situations sometimes. And it would seem like this would allow for more of that learning how, as a student, you react to, hey, I did everything right, but this person still had some kind of incident that just happened because life happens sometimes.
Exactly. And that's so true. Our learning is 50% classroom and 50% hands-on. So it makes it nice for those hands-on learners who don't always love to sit in the classroom as much as others, but and also it allows you to apply that knowledge. Application is one of the main ways too. And like you were talking about, analyzing those data cues and determining what your next step should be. It's instrumental.
Well, I mean, just understanding sometimes how quickly you have to make those decisions.
Patients' conditions change really quickly. You could be going along in your shift and your patient looks great. Then all of a sudden they start taking a turn for the worse, and you have to be able to analyze the situation and know what to do.
I mean, it's almost like, people talk about training for different things, right? Like if you're an athlete, you got to train and do all these reps. And it's like, now you're kind of getting actual reps, for lack of a better word. Sorry, I'm a sports guy at heart, but where you're realizing like, hey, that 100-mile-an-hour fastball comes in like that, and hey, if I make this decision, then this happens, and how quickly it happens, that you then have to be on to the next thing, as opposed to, okay, I'm checking my thing, right?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah.
Well, Cindy, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You got 5 more people that you got to get signed up.
I'll be waiting your call.
Yeah. So again, phone number again for Warren and Oil City campus.
Okay, Warren is 814-406-0075, and Oil City campus is 814-493-6590.
And website?
Website is www.vtc1.org.
Is that numerical?
That is a numerical
one.org. And just give you a call, head to the website, find out the information, and folks can get started and potentially started as soon as July 30th.
Yeah. Thanks for the coffee and the great conversation.
No. Well, we appreciate you coming by. And again, I mean, this is a need. We need nurses nationally. Obviously we want students who come here and take the courses here to stay here, preferably.
Absolutely.
And help out our communities. But, you guys are filling a need, and if we can help fill that need in any way, we're happy to do so. So thank you very much for coming on and explaining your program and what folks will get out of that year they spend with you.
Okay, thank you.
That'll wrap it up for this week's episode of Coffee and a Conversation. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday and have a great weekend.
If you're ready to buy or sell your home, then stop in at 4234 Market Street to let one of the agents at Howard Hanna Professionals help. Our friendly and knowledgeable agents can help you find the key to your dream home. Looking for a new career? Howard Hanna Professionals can help there too. Howard Hanna Professionals will assist new and experienced agents with the startup fees for an exciting career in real estate. Call Katrina Laurie at 814-726-2000 for more information.
Here at Casella, we make temporary dumpster rental easy, offering services that are perfect for construction, remodeling, special events, or other short-term projects. Casella dumpsters are available in a wide range of sizes to fit any job. Our dedicated customer service team will help you choose the right size container and service level for your project and schedule hassle-free removal based on your specific needs. The right size dumpster, when you want it, where you want it, removed when